Sex Pistols return to America. Steve Jones reveals the truth about their wildest tour ever. What happens when one of the most legendary punk bands in history returns to America nearly 5 decades after one of rock music's most infamous tours? The answer may surprise you. The Sex Pistols are back on the road, and guitarist Steve Jones is opening up about the band's chaotic past, challenges of touring at 70 years old, and why he believes their notorious 1978 US tour was even more intense than most fans realize. With a refreshed lineup, renewed energy, and a full performance of their iconic debut album, this comeback is becoming one of the biggest rock stories of the year. Let's dive in. The return of a punk legend. The Sex Pistols changed rock music forever. Even though the band released only one studio album, never mind the bollocks, here's the Sex Pistols, its influence on punk rock remains enormous. Now, in 2026, original members Steve Jones, Paul Cook, and Glenn Matlock have reunited for another American tour. Instead of longtime frontman John Lydon, the group is performing with Frank Carter, a singer known for his explosive stage presence and deep appreciation for punk music. Fans have been curious about how this new lineup would sound. According to early reactions, the chemistry has been surprisingly strong, with audiences praising the band's energy while respecting its classic legacy. Steve Jones opens up. Steve Jones recently reflected on what it feels like returning to the stage decades after helping define punk rock. At 70 years old, he says touring isn't quite as easy as it used to be. Like many musicians who've spent decades performing, physical health has become a bigger consideration than ever before. Jones has spoken about recovering from a wrist injury that temporarily delayed tour plans. Thankfully, his recovery has progressed well enough for him to perform again. Still, he admits that getting older changes the way he approaches live performances. Rather than worrying about guitars or equipment, one of his biggest concerns is simply staying steady on stage and avoiding a fall during a show. It's an honest reminder that even rock legends face the realities of aging. Looking back at 1978. Of course, whenever people talk about the Sex Pistols touring America, memories immediately return to 1978. That short US tour became one of the most talked about chapters in rock history. Concerts were unpredictable, crowds were intense, internal tensions within the band were growing. The atmosphere surrounding every performance seemed completely out of control. According to Steve Jones, many stories told over the years don't even capture everything that happened. He believes parts of that experience were even more difficult than the legends suggest. Although decades have passed, those memories remain vivid for everyone involved. A different band today. The 2026 version of the Sex Pistols is very different. Instead of controversy dominating headlines, today's focus is the music. Fans attending the concerts are seeing a celebration of punk history rather than chaos. Frank Carter has earned praise for bringing his own personality while respecting the band's classic songs. Rather than trying to imitate anyone, he delivers performances that feel energetic, passionate, and authentic. That balance has helped longtime fans embrace this new chapter. Performing a classic album. One of the biggest attractions of this tour is that the band performs Never Mind the Bollocks, here's the Sex Pistols from beginning to end. Released in 1977, the album became one of the defining records of punk rock. Songs like Anarchy in the UK and God Save the Queen shocked audiences when they first appeared but eventually became classics that inspired generations of musicians. For many concertgoers, hearing the entire album performed live is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Younger fans who never had the chance to see the original band can finally experience these songs in person. Meanwhile, longtime followers get the nostalgia of hearing music that helped shape their youth. Why this tour matters. This isn't just another reunion. It's a reminder of how influential the Sex Pistols remain nearly 50 years after exploding onto the music scene. Many bands have reunited simply because fans wanted nostalgia. But this tour appears to be driven by genuine enthusiasm. The musicians seem excited to perform. Audiences are responding positively, and the songs still carry the same rebellious spirit that made them famous. In many ways, the tour proves that punk isn't defined by age. It's defined by attitude. Fans react. Across social media, reactions have been overwhelmingly positive. Many fans say they never expected to see the Sex Pistols touring again. Others have praised Frank Carter for bringing fresh energy without trying to replace the band's history. Some longtime followers admit they were skeptical at first. But after seeing videos from recent performances, many changed their minds. The excitement surrounding the concerts continues to grow as more tour dates approach. The legacy lives on. Whether someone discovered the Sex Pistols in the 1970s or through streaming services decades later, their impact on music is impossible to ignore. Their career may have been short, but their influence has lasted for generations. Bands across punk, alternative rock, indie, and even heavy metal continue to cite them as major inspirations. Their message of challenging expectations and refusing to conform still resonates today. That's why this tour feels bigger than simply revisiting old songs. It's celebrating one of the most important movements in rock history. Conclusion. As the Sex Pistols prepare to perform across the United States once again, Steve Jones reminds fans that time changes everyone, but passion for music never disappears. The wild days of the late 1970s may never return, but the spirit that made punk rock unforgettable is clearly still alive. Whether you're a lifelong fan or discovering the band for the very first time, this tour offers a rare opportunity to experience one of rock's most influential groups in a brand new era. What do you think? Will Frank Carter help write an exciting new chapter in Sex Pistols history? Or do you believe no lineup can ever replace the original? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the biggest stories from the world of music and entertainment. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.